We live, we good? Perfect. Let's get it, baby. We live, we good. We feeling funky, we feeling fresh. Let me see how we look on the stream. My headphones disconnect. Let's get ready. We look pretty damn good. If you ask me, I say we look pretty damn good. Okay. Alright, perfect. Let's get going. Switches off. I can hear myself. We don't want to hear that. But actually, how do I hear? Perfect. Let's get going. Alright. I sound pretty damn good. Alright, perfect. Let's get this show on the way. Let's get this show on the way, guys. We're talking about what autism and ADHD can look like. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road. Get this place smelling good. Y'all can smell how good it is over there too. Alright, let's bring in our friends from the book. Alright, let's bring in our friends from the book. We're also going to bring in our friends from the tube. Actually, we already have our friends from the tube on and they're watching right now. So shout out to my people from the tube. Shout out to my people from the book. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road. Let's get this show on the road. Alright, bringing in the boys and girls from the book. Let's get going. Welcome back everybody to another episode of the Late Night Show with Dr. Kojo. I'm your host, Dr. Kojo, and we're talking about signs of possible autism and ADHD tonight. I'm checking in from the Washington location. Use the comment section to let me know where y'all are coming from. Are y'all on the West Coast? Are y'all on the East Coast? Are y'all from the United Kingdom? Wherever y'all are in the world, please use the comment section to let me know where you're checking in from so I can see who we have here today. Kamari, I appreciate you, Kamari. Kamari then sent the number 2 gifter badge. All love, my brother. Thank you so much. We have Coco from Ghana. Shout out to the home country. We have Jace from Amarillo, Texas. Just Ginger Things checking in from Utah. Jules checking in from Buffalo, New York. M checking in from UK. So my UK boys and girls are here, and I just want to say thank you to my whole UK community. We have a lot of people from all over the United Kingdom. People in Ireland, we have people in London, we have people in Manchester. I appreciate y'all. And y'all are one of the main reasons why I'm looking to throw a morning live stream in one of these days. At least morning on the West Coast of the United States. So that way y'all can get some live streams during your nighttime, because it's 2 or 3 a.m. in the United Kingdom right now. So I'm coming to y'all live during the manic hours. I do apologize. Amanda from Denmark. We got a lot of Europeans in the chat. I appreciate the love. Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay. Let me see my people on the book. Where they checking in from? My folks on the book and my folks on the tube. Get these comments rolling in. We got people checking in from all over the place. I love your content. I'm late diagnosed. Your content explains my entire life. So the reason why I know what y'all's lives look like is because I have a secret camera in each and everybody's house, and I'm spying on y'all. So that's how I know, because I've been watching you. I've been studying you, so I know more about you than you know about yourself. Carter, I just got diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 30. I had no idea I had it. Carter was just out here living his life and got diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 30, and he had no idea. Some of us have, an inkling that we could be neurodivergent, but the majority of us, I believe, have no idea that, we're neurospastic. Amy from Corpus Christi. Amy, thank you for your attention. I appreciate you. M says, 1:43 a.m. and I need to sleep. Undiagnosed ADHD. So Emma's checking in from the United Kingdom. She's in Europe, and it's almost 2 a.m. So if you're neurodivergent and you're on this live stream, you can relate to M. Sometimes 2 a.m. is like 2 p.m. for neurodivergence. If you're neurospicy, you know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to get back into school. I left because I was struggling. Glad to know I can get IEPs now. I saw a clip of Chance the Rapper talking about the fact that he was in special education from 4th grade until the end of high school. And we don't talk a lot about what happens to kids who have IEPs and 504 plans after grade school. A lot of these kids turn out to be Chance the Rapper. A lot of these special ed kids turn out to be Dr. Kojo. I was in special ed too. So just know that there's no shame in needing, special education. There's no shame if your education is a little different from other people and if you need accommodations. I'm here to tell you that you can go from special ed to living out your dreams. So don't let anybody shame you for being in special ed. I know a lot of kids who are in special ed who had stutters, like me. I checked the box on both of those, who are doing their thing today. So ain't no shame, guys. Ain't no shame. Claire, waiting on a 6-year potential diagnosis. Wow, 6 years. Sneaky thicky. Jessica checking in from Wisconsin. Jessica, how are you? Happy to have you on. Brother War, been knowing I have ADHD, but just realized I'm probably also autistic. So, guys, here's the thing with ADHD and autism. The majority of people that I know get diagnosed with ADHD first, and then once their ADHD is treated, then we're able to see what else is there. And when we see what else is there, when we take off the mask, when we dig deep and uncover what's at the bottom, we find out that there's some autism over there, right? And this is kind of like with ADHD and bipolar. You can have ADHD and bipolar disorder, and you can do great. But your clinician should be treating the bipolar first, then you treat the ADHD second, right? We have to first organize your thoughts, and then we help you focus. That's how it's supposed to be. Jessica says, I'm a special ed teacher. Shout out to Jessica. Jessica, without people like you, there's no telling where some of us would be. I'm a former special ed student. I rode the short yellow bus. So Jessica Burns on the book. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. I mean, for everybody here, thank you for what you do. But Jessica specifically, thank you. I appreciate you. I just want to say that. It means a lot to me. My toddler is on the spectrum. Okay. And people asking me to check my DMs after this live stream. Guys, I have so many DMs. It's impossible for me to check them. My team handles that. And they'll pull some things out every now and then. But I have so many DMs. It's really difficult to get a hold of me. This live stream is probably the best way to get a hold of me, honestly. Because I can see your comment. Sometimes it's hard to see your comments. Scuffy Doo, I was diagnosed with bipolar 2 when I was in high school. Now as an adult, I realize it's likely ADHD. Guys, bipolar looks a lot like ADHD, and ADHD looks a lot like autism. And this is why it's helpful to have a good clinician who can diagnose you. Sometimes you'll be misdiagnosed, and that just comes with the territory, right? It's just part of the game. It happens. Amy's saying, when I get insurance, I hope to get an autism assessment. Amy, we're right there with you. And then Jessica says, it's the best job ever. Oh, Jessica, were you a special ed kid as well? Alright, guys. The topic tonight is 5 signs of ADHD and autism, right? We're going to talk about what that looks like when you have both. But before I do that, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat if you were a special ed kid. Drop a 1 in the chat if you had an IEP, if you had a 504, if you rode the short yellow bus. I'm trying to see something here. Drop a 1 in the chat. All my special ed kids, drop a 1 in the chat. All right? Drop a big 1 in the chat. AC87, how are you? Drop a 1 in the chat. I'm not live on Twitch because I'm part of the Twitch program where I can stream on other platforms at the same time. I might want to get out of that because I want to stream on Twitch as well. So I have to think about that. 1's in the chat. Miss Lauren, special ed kid. Okay. Chris, another special ed kid. Low Bro Fades. Mel Marie. Okay. All right. We got some special ed kids in here. Lauren. Hyperfocus. Okay. A special ed kid. Lauren's kid is also special education. I love the fact that we can talk about this without any shame being a thing. Because I don't know if if y'all went to schools like I went to, these public schools where bullying is rampant, and don't let the kids catch you coming off the short yellow bus. They're gonna give you hell. Don't let kids catch you come off the short yellow bus. Like, you already know what time it is. Don't let your crush catch you walking out of the short yellow bus. Because, like, that's the type of kid I was, right? We came from Norway, moved to Nashville, Tennessee, 1999. The year that the Titans moved to Nashville, we also moved to Nashville. And I knew that I was a little different as a kid. I couldn't even read until second grade. So I was a different kid. But once I learned that, they laugh at special ed kids, I try my best to not let my crush. I had a crush. Her name was Amanda. I didn't want Amanda to see me coming off the special ed bus because that wasn't a part of my swag. It's hard to have a swag when you're coming off the short yellow bus. You feel me? At first, I didn't know that was a bad thing, and it's not a bad thing. I didn't know it was a bad thing to other kids. So I would be getting off the short yellow bus, and kids would be laughing at me. I thought they were laughing with me, so I was laughing too. And it took me a while to realize that they were laughing at me. I'm like, oh, gotcha. This is not the cool kids bus. Got it. And then the shame kicked in, and I had to, go in Taylor Stratton Elementary School in Nashville, Tennessee. I had to go in the roundabout way because I didn't want Amanda to see me coming. Because Amanda had sent me a note, right? It said, "Do you like me? Yes or no?" She had a crush on me, but she didn't know that I was coming off the short yellow bus. So you feel me? So I had to play it cool, I had to play it cool. How'd you get on the short yellow bus? Well, I was in special ed classes, and I was also in ESL classes, English as a second language. The thing is, I could speak English when I got to the United States of America because we came from Norway, but we were zoned, this is Nashville, Tennessee, 1999. We're living in the projects, right? Haynes Garden apartment homes. And the school that we were zoned for was a dangerous school. So my parents realized that if you lied and said that your kid couldn't speak English, they could go to a different school. So I had to be in the English as a second language classes. I had to do a little bit of lying, just, hey, my kids can't speak, boom, boom, boom. So we took the short yellow bus to school, Taylor Stratton Elementary. And whenever I get a chance, I would love to go back to Stratton Elementary School in Nashville, Tennessee, and talk to the kids and just do something for the kids. I would love to do that, and that's something that I will do. If you're watching and for some reason you have any connection to Stratton Elementary in Nashville, Tennessee, please email me. Don't DM, too many DMs. Email info@kodrosarfo, firstname.com. I would love to talk to y'all. Yeah. Lauren, yeah, I'm just happy I made it. I'm not in Nashville. No, Love and Juju. I'm not in Nashville. Moved from Nashville a long time ago. I'm based in Los Angeles now. Our whole company, we are in LA, but we may go to Nashville. I mean, hey, that's my roots. That's my roots. Those are my roots. Jennifer says, "Hi, doctor. I have ADHD. I'm 39. I was a mess as a kid in special ed homeroom." Okay. And look, sometimes it takes years for us to come out as special ed kids because there's a lot of shame growing up. A lot of shame. And Lauren, you're right. If you can live in Norway, you can live in Alaska. I was able to do 5 months in Alaska, so that's pretty impressive. Jalacia, what's going on? All right, guys, let's get into the signs that I have here for y'all, okay? Let's get into today's topic. All right, let me pull up my list where I can see it pretty good. Okay, all right, there we go. The split screen. I want to be able to see everybody, even my people on the tube. I can't really see my people on the tube for real. I haven't been able to see YouTube comments for, I don't know why. I don't like that though. That's crazy. Yeah. I did 5 months in in Alaska. John asked if I do autism sensitivity training for employers. Not at the moment, but I would love to get into that. There's a lot that we can teach employers when it comes to neurodivergence. The neurospicy community, we're different. We're different. Fossey Roxy asks if not detecting humor is a sign. So yes, a lot of neurodivergence. Sometimes we don't get the joke the first time around or the second time around, and that can be funny. But when you're constantly missing social cues and you don't understand what people are saying, that can be very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. And I also want to say that this live stream, this will be our last night with this background. We're going to move to the living room for tomorrow's live stream. And we're going to do things a little bit different. Hopefully y'all like it. I want to invest into my setup. I want it to look a little bit different. I got something envisioned. So my old lady helped me out. And we'll have a different background for y'all tomorrow. I'm excited for y'all to see it. And also, my audio, I'm going to do it a little bit differently. Because sometimes, if you're watching on TikTok, my audio will go like high-pitched or whatever. And that's not how I sound. I have a very sultry and a handsome voice. So it shouldn't be high-pitched. All right. Let's get into the signs. All right, guys. Here are 5 signs. 5 signs that you may have ADHD and autism. All right. Number 1, if you're somebody who zones out often. So you zone out often, but at the same time, you can hyperfocus. You can hyperfocus and hyperfixate on certain things. All right. You zone out, and you can do this mid-conversation sometimes. If you are experienced and you're really, you're really taking a hold of yourself, you can zone out mid-conversation. And somebody can be talking, and you know how to, weave in and out of the conversation. So you're there mentally, but then you kind of check out. But then you're there again, you check out, and then you're there when you have to reply, and then you check out again. It's an acquired skill, but innately we have that ability where we zone out, and we come in. We zone out, we come in. If you're somebody who can zone out intentionally or unintentionally, but at the same time, you have the ability to hyperfixate on something. So it's almost like you have no focus at all, or you're having a hard time regulating your focus. And you have periods where you focus intensely on a certain thing, and the things that you focus on sometimes are special interests. And this is where the autism part comes in. A special interest is something that you enjoy, something that you can talk about for hours and hours and hours on end, and you don't care if other people like it or not. And women tend to be diagnosed later in life because they have special interests that are, common, conventional. If you're a woman and you really, really, really enjoy the history of colognes, right? That could be something that maybe other, girls at school don't really talk about. They talk about Taylor Swift and Barbie. So you adopt the interest of the general population. You figure out what people like, and then you start to look at that stuff. And you suppress your natural special interest. It might be the history of colognes. Your special interest might be geology and rocks. And different types of rocks. And the history of rocks. I have some patients that talk to me about rock hounding and digging for rocks and digging for gold. I find that stuff to be pretty fascinating. Not to the point where I research it on my own, but I will watch YouTube videos about rocks and the history of rocks and things like that because it's an interest to me. But for some people, it's a special interest. And when you have autism and ADHD, you have this thing where sometimes you're able to regulate your focus and you can focus on the damn thing that you want to focus on. And other times, you can't focus on a target, even if the target was like stationary. Like you can't focus on this one thing. Like we have to be here or there. It's like, I can't focus. I don't know what's going on. I can't focus. I can't focus. And sometimes the only time that you're able to focus when you have ADHD, autism and ADHD, is when you're doing the thing that you want to be doing. You're playing your video games. You're talking about your special interest. And in life, in order to really succeed and live out your wildest dreams, if you're neurospicy, you have to learn how to compartmentalize. So yes, it's cool to spend a lot of time on your special interests, but if you got school at 7 a.m., we can't be up until 2 looking at rocks and watching YouTube videos about rocks and rock hounding and different things like that, because we have school at 7 a.m. I gotta wake up early in the morning, so I can't be up all night on YouTube. I gotta get some sleep. But I didn't do any of my homework today, so now I'm just gonna go to school and I'm screwed. That sort of thing. And in ADHD and in autism individually, it's gonna be a bit difficult to regulate your attention, and you can struggle with a lot of executive functioning. Text my sister. And somebody says, do people have special interests and obsessions in the same way, or is it unique to autism? So, guys, anybody can have a special interest. It's not unique to autism. Anybody can have a special interest. A lot of us have interests that are special to us. You don't have to be autistic. The difference is that with autism, these special interests, they're independent of anybody putting it on you. Like, you like this one thing, and you're able to talk about this thing ad nauseum. You can talk about this thing for hours. If people don't cut you off, you won't stop talking about it. You talk about this thing past the point where it's socially acceptable to talk about this particular thing. I think anybody can talk to an individual who has autism and talk about rocks or the history of colognes or the history of wars for a couple of minutes. But to talk to somebody who has a special interest in the Civil War for 4 hours, probably not a thing that you can do unless you really enjoy that. Which is why I think a lot of neurodivergents tend to find other neurodivergents when it comes to dating and relationships. Because if you have a special interest and you really love this thing, and your friends, it doesn't have to be a romantic partner, but your friends or your romantic partner, they really love this thing, then y'all can tune out the world. And y'all can just create your own world where we get to talk about this, we get to talk about that. Boom, 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 back and forth. I think that's pretty damn cool. If you ask me, I think that's pretty damn cool. And She on the book asks, does zoning out also happen with reading or having to reread things? That is a sign that you're having a hard time regulating your attention. Yes, having to reread things. So that could be a form of zoning out. That is correct. That is correct. If you're somebody who you read a whole page, and as you get to the bottom of the page, you realize that you don't know what you're reading. You haven't retained anything. You just read it, but you haven't really retained it. You gotta go back and read the top of the page. Sometimes you have to do it 2 or 3 times before you can really understand what's on the page. Then you're like, oh, okay. Like, I was reading, but I was here, but I really wasn't here. Like, I was looking at the pages and I was following it, with my finger, but I wasn't like taking it all in. Yeah, that's a sign that you're struggling to regulate your attention. Yep. And as Stacy says, yeah, it is frustrating. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. As a clinician, somebody says, what are they available? So somebody's asking where they have ADHD screenings. So on the book, let me pin my... Alright, so if you're watching on TikTok, actually, I pinned something at the bottom. You can DM your email, and my team will shoot you a link with all the services that we offer. Obviously, we only do ADHD and autism screenings in 4 select states: Alaska, Arizona, Washington, California. And the majority of y'all are not in those states. So if you're in another state, I would say Google ADHD screening near me, autism screening near me. And hopefully you can find somebody that can help you in your area. But if you DM us on TikTok with your email, we'll send the link to our stand store. And this has everything. This has the dates to my next comedy show. It has the links for the ADHD coaching, mental health coaching, and so on and so forth. Psychiatry, all that stuff, you can find that. You can navigate your way to my profile and click it there, or you can just DM us your email and we will send the link to you. All right. Now number two. OMG, you serve my state. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Erica, that's pretty cool. All right, so number 2, signs that you may have ADHD and autism at the same time. All right. If you talk about what you love, and it can be a special interest, it can be something that you just learned about in the middle of a hyperfixation episode, right? You can talk about things that you love for hours and hours and hours and hours on end, but you tend to struggle with small talk. You can only do big talk, but small talk is very difficult and frustrating for you. All right, so in the neurotypical society, small talk is something that we have to do at the beginning of a conversation because, somebody at some point made rules where they said that we have to talk about things that we don't care about when we first meet somebody. So if you're going to some social function, some event, you have to talk about the weather for a little bit. You have to talk about the tires on people's cars, and you have to talk about the ground and the floor, and you have to talk about these things because it's just what we do. I don't know who created these rules, but it's just what we do. But you can struggle with these small talk conversations, and it can be to the point where you don't even enjoy going out in public anymore. Like, why would you go out in public when you have to have these soul-draining conversations? And you do have some neurodivergence, some people with ADHD and autism who are actually really good at small talk, but they've learned that they have to ingratiate themselves with others through small talk. So you spend a lot of time and you really practice. You learn about the logistics of the weather, and you learn about the sky and the things that people normally do on the weekends and what people's kids are doing, so that way you can have a normal conversation, but it's not your favorite thing to do. But if somebody asks you a question about something that you genuinely love, you can talk for hours and hours and hours on end. Unless somebody stops you, you're not stopping. You're just going to go and go and go and go. Somebody says, I like to talk about the afterlife, why the galaxy is the shape that it is. Yeah, big talk. Normally we do big talk. We don't really do small talk. We do big talk normally. Deep things like, not like, what's your deepest, darkest secret? Tell me your secret. Tell me what you've never told anybody before. And you just met the person. When two neurodivergents meet and they ask each other questions like that, that's the icebreaker right there. The icebreaker is, tell me your deepest, darkest secret. What are you ashamed of? That sort of thing. So whereas in a neurotypical world, you gotta talk about a couple of different things before you can get to somebody's deepest, darkest secret. Like, damn, that ain't no first date conversation. If you're neurodivergent, that could be before the first date. You could pull up to the first date knowing this person's social security number because y'all have gone deep. Like, you go really deep. Really deep. I'm late diagnosed ADHD since I've started noticing some autism behaviors I had my whole life. Yeah, guys, these are the things that you have these things, not just like now, like you had these things. And both these conditions are both neurodevelopmental, so you're born like this. You were born like this. It's coming from your mom. It's coming from your dad. It's coming from somebody. It's coming from somebody. And Pretty Smiles Forever says, secrets. I love secrets. People will tell me their deep secrets. Okay, well, all right. Since people will tell you their deep, dark secrets, if you're watching right now on the talk, and also if you're watching on the book, go ahead and drop your deepest, darkest secret. Drop it. Drop it. Drop it. We're all neurospicy over here. Drop it. Drop it. Your deepest, darkest secret. Let me hear it. Oh my goodness. That's what we tend to like. Like we want to know people's deepest, darkest secret. That's what we want to. Can we bond? Dory says that I'm gay. Nah, I don't know if that's Dory's deepest, darkest secret or if everybody knows that Dory came out. Okay, Dory. Well, this is a safe space for you too. My secret right now is I'm putting my Christmas tree up. Okay. Praise Mom says, I don't like telling people about mine though. All right, cool. Hey, so all of a sudden, we pick a convenient time to stop oversharing. I ask all about y'all's deepest, darkest secret. And all of a sudden, nobody wants to overshare anymore. Careful what you ask for. Nobody's going to drop a deepest, darkest secret on here. Because even as neurospicy folks, we're able to compartmentalize. Nobody's dropping their deepest, darkest secret. You might drop a little secret, but not no deepest, darkest secret. I'm afraid my dad won't go to heaven. Ooh. I'll be praying for your dad. I don't know if I know deepest, darkest secret of mine that I have, but I'll give y'all a shameful moment because that's what we're aiming for. In the 10th grade, my sister called me one time and she wanted to open up my laptop and do some work, right? And I didn't know how to go to my laptop because I just didn't want her to open up my laptop. So she calls me. I'm at the library. She's like, Kojo, give me the password to your laptop. I have to send some schoolwork to my teacher. And I'm like, Coach, I'll give you I'll open up my laptop when I get home. Just give me like an hour. And she's like, no, I need a password to the laptop because I have to get my assignment turned in. I'm like, Coach, I'll just give me some time. So then she tells my dad, and my dad forces me to give the password to my sister. I'm like, fine. My password is I love Amber. That was embarrassing as hell. Because Amber had a boyfriend. Amber didn't even like me. Amber never liked me. But that was my password in 10th grade. I was too grown to be having passwords like that. Either way, that was the damn password. And my sister was like, what the hell? What do you mean I love Amber? My goodness. Ridiculous. Not my finest moment. But you know, we have our moments, right? Not my finest day. So that was my password. I love Amber. I did check her out on Instagram the other day to see what Amber's up to. Amber's still doing good. I think she's in Portland, Oregon, and she's, she lives a good life. And I didn't tell her that was my password, but yeah. Amber alert. Oh, wait. Amber alert. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but... And then Chi says, I used to be afraid of butterflies. All right, you tell me that you used to be afraid of butterflies, and I tell you that my password in 10th grade was I love Amber. No, like, y'all not beating me. Like, I out-shamed you on the shame meter. Like, that's very embarrassing. That's very embarrassing, guys. All right, we'll move on to the third sign that you may have ADHD and autism, all right? If you're somebody who is an overthinker, to the point where you're overthinking about what somebody said to you days and weeks and months later, all right? If you play this mental game where you're trying to outthink your way out of a problem and you're worried about what people are saying about you, or you're worried about what somebody meant. Somebody may have said something about you and it's like a benign comment. They didn't even think anything about it, but you're overthinking it. And part of this comes from executive dysfunction. This paralysis where we can't start a task or we're thinking about the thing instead of doing the thing. And we're writing more to-do lists instead of doing the things on the to-do list. We're playing this mental game where we're just doing a lot of thinking, and it is helpful to premeditate, certain things and to be preemptive and just be ready. But when you overthink every single thing, you're going to be tired and you're going to be drained. How do you have time for big talk if you're drained and you're tired? Overthinkers, oversharers. And then you have a lot of shame about it. That's the neurospicy way. A lot of overthinking, a lot of oversharing. And then you're like, all right, I got to ghost these people because they know too much about me. They know the fact that my 10th grade password to my laptop was I love Amber. They know the fact that in 5th grade I wore my sister's underwear to school because I was running late for the bus and my mom forced me to wear my sister's underwear. And then halfway through the day, I was like, damn, like, my butt's itchy. I can't participate in PE today because I can't change out because, like, I got a girl's underwear on. My goodness. You feel me? Oversharing, overthinking. Oversharing, overthinking. That's the neurospicy way. Somebody saying, yes, me too. What part? The oversharing part or the having to wear female underwear in 5th grade? Which part? So I'm the only one? Oh, okay. Okay. Someone says, there was rumor in 9th grade that I was pregnant. Now, well, you were never pregnant. Well, if I said there was a rumor that in the 5th grade I wore a girl's I wore a woman's underwear in the 5th grade. And I was not available for a kickball that day. My teammates needed me, and I couldn't participate. I had on girl panties. You feel me? I couldn't do nothing. My team suffered because I wasn't there to help out. That's what happens when you wear girl underwear in 5th grade. I put on my... God, I don't think y'all hear me. I put on my sister's underwear. Alright? And then I put on my pants. And I caught the school bus and I went to school. And I was walking around all day. I don't think y'all are hearing me, guys. That's what I did. I actually did that, guys. I did that. So I know what it's like to wear women's underwear. Okay? I've done that before. Alright? And now I put it out there to the world because, hey, it is what it is. Betty says, I was talking about butterfly biting, but I did share underwear with my cousin. Well, Betty, if you are a lady, or a girl at that time, and your cousin's also a girl or a lady, and y'all share underwear, maybe it's not the most sanitary thing, but wearing your sister's underwear when you're a guy, alright, I felt like Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay? Especially as a straight guy too. Like, hey, it is what it is. Keisha, y'all hearing me, huh? You hearing me? Yeah, I made sure that I had enough of my underwear to wear from that day. And since that day, in 5th grade, in Jacksonville, Florida, Greenland Pines Elementary School, I have not worn a woman's underwear since. And I'm proud of that. I think that's really cool. I have not worn a woman's underwear since that time. So, overthinking and oversharing. I should not be... look, I forgive myself, guys. I forgive myself. This is a safe space. This is a safe space. Like, you know. At least I'm oversharing and overthinking with my audience. Oh yeah. Greenland Pines Elementary School, Jacksonville, Florida. The year was about 2003, 2004. It was a Tuesday morning. But yeah, oversharing, overthinking. That's something that we tend to do. And being mysterious is not native to us, but there's a lot of power in being mysterious. You know, so even though I'm part of the neurospastic community, every now and then I like to just sit back and just be mysterious. And obviously people can Google me and they can look on famous birthdays or whatever. You know, you'll find my birthday. You'll find things I like to do. Like, you'll know about what I do. But it's still cool sometimes to just sit back and just be mysterious. At least a little mysterious, you feel me? A little mysterious. I have bipolar. My mania is so embarrassing. I get really judicial and fantastical about ethics. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing, because a lot of people don't want to share their deepest and darkest secrets on. Jessica says, I know what to get you for your birthday. Jessica, I'm weak. That's hilarious. Alright. Ooh. Joseph, I appreciate you. Signs that you may have ADHD and autism. Number 4. loving routines and swearing by them, but you hate feeling controlled and you still want to be spontaneous. How does that make any sense? How do you love routines and you like structure, but then you don't want to be controlled and you don't want to play by the system that you created? You created the system. You outlined the structure for yourself. Why are you getting tired of it? You get tired of it and then it's time to blow that one up, and now we need a whole new system. Not that we're going to follow it. Maybe the fun is coming from the creation of the system. But you love routines. You love doing the same thing every day. You love eating the same thing every day. You love wearing the same thing every day. The same sort of thing every day. But you don't like being controlled. You want to be a free bird. That's the neurospicy way. You just want to be a free bird. I can't tell you how many relationships I've been in where I've told a girl, I'm like, hey, I'm a free bird. Verbatim. And she's like, oh, so are you going to be with other women? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that I'm Polynesian. I'm not saying that. I just want to be a free bird. Like, you can't be like right up under me all the time, ask what I'm doing, where I'm going, who I'm seeing. I'm living my life. I ain't no cheater. If I was, I wouldn't be with you, but I ain't no cheater. I'm a free bird. If you're neurospicy, you know what I'm talking about by being a free bird. You just want to spread your wings, right? You just want to spread your wings, and you want to feel like you can spread your wings. You don't feel like somebody's like controlling you. We don't want to be controlled. We're free birds. Feral life is my preferred life. Yeah, somewhat. I don't want to get too feral. I don't want to be too feral now, you know. A little feral. You know, a little every now and then. A little ferality. I'm not sure if that's a word, but a little ferality every now and then, just to keep things, you know, spontaneous, sure. But, you know, I do like that structure. I do like doing the same thing every single day. I like, you know, boom, boom, boom. But then it's like, don't put me in a box. You can't put me in a box because I'm a bust out the box. I'm a free bird. I gotta be a free. I'm a free bird. That's it. I'm a free bird. I need routines, but don't boss me around. Exactly. I need routines, but when I feel like I'm constricted by that routine, when I feel like I have to do the thing that I set up for myself to do, then it's like, nah, I can't do it. What do you mean I have to do this? I don't have to do a damn thing. But you set the system up for yourself. So, what does this mean? Are we doomed? Are we screwed? No, we're not necessarily screwed, but it can be helpful to create systems where you allow yourself to be a bit free, because you know you like spontaneity. You like to break away and do something randomly. So you should allow yourself to do those things. But we all need structures. We all need routine. So if you can do the same thing every single day, you will get better at whatever you're doing. You should improve. Your grades should be better. Your performance at work should be better. Your side projects and side quests should be better, because repetition is the mother of skill. You get better and better and better and better. But if you know that you're neurospicy and you need something to be spontaneous, then allow yourself. Don't judge yourself for breaking away, because more than likely you won't stick to the script, and you know it. So don't judge yourself when you break away, because you know you will break away like Kelly Clarkson the first time that you have the chance to do so. So just break away, all right? I burn my wings and I learn how to fly. I do what it takes till I touch the sky. Break away. You're not going to follow the script all the way. I like the idea of routines. That's another thing. Sometimes you can like the idea of routines, but when it comes down to following the routine, it's like, damn, I gotta follow this routine. Damn. You're sitting down looking at the plan that you create for yourself. You're like, damn, like, who's gonna do all this? Like, you're gonna do all this. That's what you're gonna do. You said you were gonna do this, so you gotta do it. It's all fun and games until the routine is done. Like, we've written everything and we put everything in place, and we took hours and we set it firm. And now it's time to follow the routine. It's like, damn, like every day, every day, every day, every day, make you ficky. Loving routines, but you don't want to feel controlled. Ridiculous. Why do we do that? I was restricted when my husband went to days. We worked opposite shifts. Once we were on same shift, I couldn't do it. It helps to know what type of a person you are, because you can advocate for yourself more. There's some couples who enjoy spending every waking moment with each other, and I've seen couples that have been like this and they've worked out. I've seen it, guys. It exists. Couples where they can work together, they can eat together, they can breathe the same air together, they can go play together. Like they're attached at the hip 24/7, 25/8 actually, and it works out for them. I don't know if these are spicy couples, but at least for me, I need my space. I'm a free bird. I still want to be around my girl and love my girl and think the world of her, but free birds, neurospicy folks, we're gonna need some space. We will need some space. How much space? I don't know that, but we will need some space. Forever. Right. I gotta follow this routine forever. And Chris says, I wish for that, bro, honestly. Yeah, and look, this is why it can be helpful to get, like Chris, get you a neurospicy girl. Get you a girl on the spectrum. Get you a girl with ADHD. It's easy for you to explain this to her. And I'm not saying that neurotypical girls are not the way to go. Like, that's cool too. Just that people might think, or she might think, that you don't like her if you don't want to spend all the time with her. Like, your free time is not your available time. Like, your free time is for you to decompress and stress and like be in a corner and like fart and laugh and doom scroll and do what people do. You don't want somebody like all up on you. You feel me? And if she's not neurospicy, she could take it the wrong way. Even if she is neurospicy, she could still take it the wrong way. But just letting people know, like, hey, I like you. I love you. But I need space. I just need some space. CJ says, what works for me and my ADHD husband is I work days, he works nights. I like that setup. You know why? Because they're working days. You're working nights. So you have the whole house to yourself. You feel like a kid in Home Alone. Then when you're at work, he has the whole house to himself. Then when y'all are both off, because you don't spend that much time with each other, you don't take together time for granted. Like, when y'all are together with each other, you put away the phones. You're present. You're going out for movie nights, date nights, going out to dinner. You're actually dating your person. Because we put in all this effort to get the person, and then as we get them, we're like, I'm just not going to wash my ass today. Right? We take people for granted. But if you can come up with a nice little system like this, it's like, ooh, you're off today? All right. Shoot, let's drive down to San Diego. Let's be spontaneous. You value somebody's time more when you don't have a lot of it. The principle of scarcity. So I like that. I love that idea. I love that. And like Candy's saying, parallel play. I love how that sounds. It sounds really nice to me. Batman asks me, how many girlfriends do you have? 4. Okay, I got 4. 4. It's just something that they do in my country in Africa. It's an African thing. Like, if you're American, don't worry about it. It's an African thing. It's an African thing. I used to say my perfect partner would be a long distance. Come on, a long distance truck driver. Okay, all right. That's funny. A-Stan says, being neurospicy keeps my husband on his toes, and he hasn't tried to change me in 20 years. Well, love is a show to your husband. That's normally a sign that it's not the right relationship when they want to change you. when they allow you to be yourself and they encourage that, it's a good sign. Ooh, am I out of water? Am I out of water? Together 11 years with this girl, and so glad she understands me. Dev. I love to see that, Dev. I love to see that. Laura says, I need my space so I can be free to not have to analyze everything I do. I hate being asked why I'm doing something. It is very frustrating and it feels invasive. And Sarah Gast, thank you so much for your comment on the book. I appreciate that. Somebody asking you why about every single thing you do, it does feel invasive sometimes. And we do need our space. Articulating this to your people, to your kids even. Sometimes kids don't understand that mama and daddy need personal space. Sometimes dogs don't understand this. Sometimes your spouse or your parents don't understand it. But articulating this to people in your life and letting them know, hey, I need space. This is a must. I mean, if you haven't let them know, after this live stream, let them know ASAP. Let them know ASAP. ASAP. Dawn, how you doing? From Aiken. I miss all of y'all back in Aiken, South Carolina, and I can't wait to get back to Carolina. I wanted to go to Carolina for the Alabama and Carolina game, and I'm not sure when I'll get a chance to go back to Aiken, but a lot of love for y'all in Aiken. Advice for a recently diagnosed ADHD married to a closed-minded neurotypical. I mean, I'm not a fan of breaking up. Like, I'm a fan of working through relationship issues until you just can't. I'm not a fan of just leaving. People leave. Like, we have a lot of too many options nowadays, so it's so easy to just leave. But I mean, you're already married to the person, so you might have to pull a couple of strings to make this work. But as soon as you can, show them who you are. Say, hey, I've been masking, and I apologize, but I haven't shown you the real me. And tell them exactly who you are, what you like, what you don't like, why you weren't able to share it beforehand. Remove that shame and allow yourself to be, a person worthy of having their boundaries respected. Sometimes people aren't able to give us the love that we need because we don't tell them. So you can't really blame the neurotypical person if you never gave them a chance to know who you were because you were masking. So as soon as you can, be yourself. That's the advice I got. It's amazing to see partners supporting people. Yeah, Shannon, I agree. And sorry about, what's happening with your verbally abusive husband. Yeah, sorry about that. And guys, I saw this tweet, and it's so genius. This tweet said, keep a photo of your partner on your phone, but a photo of your partner when they were a kid. Keep that on your phone, and when you're upset, look at that photo. I've never heard that advice before in my life, but I think that's so genius. Keep a photo of your partner when they were a kid on your phone, and when y'all get into tough times, understand that that's somebody's child, that they could be afraid and hurt, and they're human just like you. I think that's a genius idea because it makes it a bit easier to be nice to your person. So every day I try my best to be nice to my 4 girlfriends and just make sure that they're all happy and that they've had something to eat, not just some granola bars. Just making sure that they're all supported and they feel heard. The usual. The huge, right? It's like me to say something so profound and I just ruin it at the end. No, but seriously, keep a photo of your partner on your phone. I will ask my girlfriend for a photo of her when she was a kid, and I'll have it on my phone. And I've been working really hard to be nice to her. And that's not difficult because she's nice to me and I think she's very pretty. She's very gorgeous to me. Yeah, I gotta come back to Aiken. Yeah, my voice goes in and out sometimes on the live stream with the sound. I don't know why, but I hate it. Oh, yeah. I got 4 girlfriends. 2 of them live in Aiken, South Carolina. That's why y'all can't see them. Yeah, they live in Aiken, South Carolina. They work with horses. And yeah, they're equestrians, or whatever you call it. They take horses to the equator or whatever equestrians do. Stuff like that. Oh, Vicky Ficky. That's not a lot of girlfriends. 4? All right, guys. The 5th sign that you may have ADHD and autism: feeling too much or not enough in social settings. No nurse. Oh, no. You could also be an equestrian and a nurse at the same time. This is 2025. Everybody got 3 jobs. You could be an equestrian. Man, we're having fun. We were all crushing on you. Well, y'all never came up and said anything to me. You never came up and said anything to me. I was single back then, like single. And when it comes to relationship statuses, guys, there's 3 categories. You have single, which is the majority of people. It's like, you're single, but yes, you're texting like 7 people on your phone. You have a roster. That's single in America. Then you have single, which is where you have your head down, your phone is dry, you're not talking to anybody. And everybody swears that they're single, but they're not. They're really single, right? So you have single, then single, and then you have in a relationship. And that's people who are married, people who are dating, stuff like that. So, yeah, back then, when I was in Aiken, I was single. So I was like head down, skits, make my videos. And I'm still head down, The relationship has not slowed me down. But I'm still, because can't put me away from my work. It's always head down. But if you feel like you're too much or you're not enough in social settings, it could be a sign that you have ADHD and or autism. And the reason why is because when you drop the mask, you're like, damn, like, do they even accept me? Like, am I still a part of this group of people? And that's why we keep the mask on. We keep the mask on because it helps us socially. You're able to get a job, you make more money, you're able to take care of your family and your kids, you're able to date. You need the mask for dating. You really do. In your formative years. And as you become an adult, when you're unmasking and you see other people who are unmasking, they become your friends. And if you can unmask with somebody in a relationship, I think that's a pretty cool thing. I think that's a really cool thing. Single and dating is definitely a different category. Single, and guys, only us as neurodivergents can really break this down because this makes sense to us. To the majority of people, single means single, but we're neurospicy folks. We know that single means that you're still talking to your ex. Like, who are we kidding? And if your ex broke up with whoever, like we know that. There's like another language that we have. And it's important to keep this in mind, especially when we're in these social situations where we don't feel like we are enough. Like, more times than not, you're right. As a neurospicy person, you're right. You are right. But things are done differently in the neurotypical world. So you have to compartmentalize and just understand that things could be a little different. And that's fine. So you're not too much and you're not enough. Or feeling like you're not enough. That's not the case. You're just misplaced. And you haven't got that full confidence in yourself yet. Don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. That's not true. I was at the desk when a nurse told you that you were a gorgeous man. I vaguely remember that. I vaguely remember the nurse saying that I was a gorgeous man, but a lot of women say, I get that a lot. So I didn't know if they were just making an observation or if it was Mickey Ficky time. I didn't know. I didn't know. See, I'm neurospicy, so when you're neurospicy, sometimes you don't understand when people are flirting with you, and sometimes I do. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I do, and I'll play it off. So sometimes I do, but you got to be careful as a neuro. Well, I guess me, I got to be careful. But I wasn't sure if she was trying to holler or if she was just saying that. Like that's, you don't know. Like I've worked at a hospital one time where I was missing some social cues from the nurse who was trying to holler at me. Like I wasn't getting it. And then one day she came and she just dropped her number. I was like, oh, it's like that. It's like that. It's like that. Oh. So for a lot of us who are neurospicy, sometimes, we may not get the hint. And as a man, I will say, neurospicy or not, it's better to err towards the side of caution. If you're not sure whether somebody's flirting with you, just be like, just assume that they're not because of, the Me 3 movement and things like that. Just assume. Just be careful. Just be careful. Single means not married. Hey, Erica. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, see, what? She was married though, and informed you of that. She told me I was handsome and that she was married. I don't remember that. I vaguely remember that conversation. That could have been true. It could have been true, but I've been working in hospitals for so long. I've been working in hospitals since 2013. So young Kojo, I'll go on dates here and there, and old Kojo was like, nah, that's not a good idea to date people at work. Some people make it work though. But if somebody's married, then like, oh no. She did. None of us singles had the nerve she did. Yeah, the people who take the most shots are married people. Married people go on the most dates. I'm weak. That's funny. Misty on the book asks, hey guys, just hopped on. Heard you say about flirting. I've never been good at telling when flirting. What are the cues? Misty, I think it's a bit different, like guys and girls. I think, I've never been a girl before, so I can't say, but the ways that guys flirt with girls, I think is a bit more subtle, only because in society, like as guys, like we know that there's actual guys out there that are monsters and predators, and they do bad things to women. So because we don't want to be lumped in with those guys, the way that we flirt is, it's not. It could be a bit subtle, whereas I think women are more overt with their flirting. So, I will say that. Once I realize someone's flirting, I show them all the ways I can contort my... Oh, that's hilarious. That's funny. They're flirting with you and you're going like this, like you're throwing up gang signs. That's very neurospicy. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Why can't someone say that they're good looking without it being in a flirty way? No. So, Kelly Harvey, I will actually say that you can do that. Like you can. I mean, there are people who do that, and yeah, I think the married nurse who said that, she was probably just being nice. That's what I assume. She was probably just being nice, and you know, that's what I'll take it as. Like, she's just being nice, just saying what we all already know. All of us know that I'm a handsome Mickey Ficky, so probably that's what she was saying. And I didn't assume that she wanted to take things there. So people can say that. I will say that for any of the neuro spicy guys who are watching, this information does not apply to us. I want to be very clear about that. This information does not apply to us. And, you know, with workplace harassment, so on and so forth, make sure you have a real good relationship with a woman before you compliment her. It's just safer. It's just safer. And it's not, it might not be fair, but it's just safer. Just make sure that, like, you really know somebody before you're like, oh, that's a really nice, like, you smell great today. Maybe back in the 2000s or the 90s, but today, just don't do it. Don't. Yeah, just don't. And it's a double standard, but just to be safe, make sure you have a real relationship before you compliment. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. No dates, but I take shots. A man at Walmart said, "Tell your what?" Brittany, Brittany on Facebook. I didn't get that. And yeah, Misty, if you've been through a traumatic relationship, yeah, it makes it difficult to get back out there in the game. You know, and like the fifth sign that you could have ADHD and autism, feeling like you're not enough in social settings, that energy carries over into a relationship. If you feel like you're not enough, you know, think about the ways that you could overcompensate, because it comes from the belief that you're not enough. You feel like you're not smooth. You feel like you're not able to understand social cues, or people are laughing at a certain joke and you don't know why they're laughing. That can carry over into relationships. It can carry over into interpersonal relationships. So the beliefs that you hold about yourself will become evident as you start to make friends. So just don't, make sure that you're your own biggest fan. You know. And Erica says she can say it without consequences because she's married. I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what is in the married woman rule book, or I just know that as guys, if it's turned like the other way around, we can't do that. We should not do that. We should not do that. And it's not fair. I know it's not fair, but you always want to just be safe as a guy. You want to be safe. And Kelly Harvey says, it's all odd to me. It's all odd to me. Yeah, I mean, depending on where you're from, and I think, and guys, look, when it comes to flirting, I don't even know what are acceptable social norms and what's not. And someone says, I'm married, we can still admire handsome people. Yes, but there's, what was the word I'm looking for? So, optics are important, okay? And as, Chris, you're absolutely correct. There's a fine line. Optics are important. So, even as neurodivergent people, we still have to know certain things. So, let's say, I'll just use myself, right? Let's say I'm at the hospital and, a 72-year-old coworker, right, who's like the grandma of the group, right? She's the secretary. She works in HR. She's the grandma of the group. She brings cookies to the office, and everybody loves her, and she cooks for everybody. And she's been married to her husband Billy for over 50 years, and she has like a grandma presence. If that coworker says, "Coach, you're such a handsome young man," everybody will say, "Aw, aw, Miss Grandma Betty's, aw." It's a heartfelt moment, right? So even though she's a married woman, she's been married for over 50 years, if she does it, she's like the grandma of the group. Everybody says, "Oh, it's a sweet moment." Now, if there's a 34-year-old nurse who's conventionally attractive and she's married and she says that, the optics don't look right. It wouldn't work, right? So same phrase, but coming from two different people. So even though we are neurodivergent, we have to understand there are some basic social cues that we have to kind of get. You know, like the young 34-year-old woman, it won't work. And I'm neurodivergent, but I've understood that optics are important. So like I never position myself close to somebody, or like I always know to keep space, right? Optics are very important. And the nurse I told you that was the grandma. No, so that's what I remember it as. Yeah, it was like a heartfelt moment. It wasn't like a take my pants off moment. It was like aw. You know, like if it's the grandma, then everybody love grandma. Like grandma can do no wrong, right? Grandma can do no wrong. And Brittany, yes, I have a book, Feeling Good. The link is in my bio. Or if you're on TikTok and you DM me, we'll shoot you a link with everything we have, including my book, which got me on the Today Show. So yeah, thank you. Please support. But yeah, if it's the grandma, it's okay. And Missy, you're right. If it's the new young blonde, that's a no-no. Yeah, yeah. And I understand this. Because like you don't want trouble. You don't want trouble, and I don't want to go home and get into trouble as well. So optics are important, right? The grandma who makes cookies, everybody loves grandma, okay? And sometimes, the older generation, I'm not saying that they're old, but the older generation, they're a bit more blunt, they're a bit more direct. And my grandma's the same way. My grandma is 93, and she just says what she says. Like, there's no filter on her. Like, she will say what's coming out of her mouth, and she don't care. She's earned the right. She's lived so long, And now you can't say anything, but people give grandma the benefit of the doubt. But like Missy said, the new young blonde, nah, I'ma stay away. And Hummingbird, you're right. Guys, and look, this is something that we have to get into our heads. Even though we're neurodivergent, we have to understand certain things. If an old man, if grandpa was saying something that could look like he was hitting on a younger woman, it would not work. And is this fair? It's not fair. But we don't live in a fair world. So a lot of us who are, on the spectrum, ADHD, we could be justice warriors, and we should stand for what's right. But no grandpa, I would not recommend that a grandpa, a 73-year-old grandpa who works in HR, who makes cookies for everybody, and says, "Oh, Grandpa Fred, oh." I would not recommend for Grandpa Fred to be saying that the young woman in the office looks nice. No, Grandpa Fred, don't do that. We want to keep our job. We want to keep our pension. We want to get our full retirement. Grandpa Fred, do not do that. Do not. No, Grandpa Fred, don't do it. It's not a fair world, but it's okay. Grandpa Fred, please be careful. Please be careful. Brittany, I appreciate you. Right, like Grandpa Fred is too close to. Yeah. Y'all support. Look, there's a grandpa out there. There's a Grandpa Fred out there who doesn't know these rules. He's neurodivergent. He could be on the spectrum and he doesn't know. And he could have the kindest of intentions. Like, he really could just be complimenting Mary. Mary, nice skirt. Grandpa Fred, don't do it. Don't do it, Grandpa Fred. Don't do it. Don't do it. We need to get our retirement. Don't do it, Fred. Don't do it. Don't do it, Grandpa Fred. It's not fair, but that's the world that we live in. And this is what's important to teach, your neurodivergent kids. There's a couple of basic social rules that we need to know. And not knowing them can get us in a lot of trouble. And Grandpa Fred, he needs to get his retirement. He needs to get it. And look, Hummingbird, I know it's not fair, but if you need things to be fair all the time, you will live in a lot of misery and pain. And a lot of neurodivergents are sometimes unemployed, non-relationships, are struggling with their self-esteem and worth because they have such a strong sense of justice that when things are wrong, it bothers them. And it's okay for them to bother you, but you have to understand that sometimes things aren't fair, and that's life. I hate to say it, sometimes things aren't fair, and that's life. But if we can't learn these social cues, you don't want a false allegation. You don't want to lose a job. So we always want to err on the side of caution. We want to be safe. Don't do it, Mr. Flintstone. Why can't Grandpa have... Look, Grandpa can have fun. Grandpa can do what he wants. But even when I'm that age, I'm still not saying that. I'm not saying that. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And if it flipped around, a grandma could say that, yes, but a grandpa can't. And it's just double standard, yes, but that's just the way things are. I mean, there's women who are working jobs that men are working and doing it better, and they're being paid less. Is it fair? No. Is it the way things have been done, and is it the way that things may continue to be, potentially? And we should fight for, pay equity. But I mean, the world's not fair. It sucks. I'm hit on by young and old patients. I prefer the elders flirting because they're funny. Right. If you're older, and even Grandpa Fred could get away with certain things and blame on dementia. Yeah. When you're working, it's much different. Yeah. Poor Grandpa Fred. Fred was just trying to be nice. Zachary, what's going on, man? Been a minute. Grandpa just trying to have fun now. And Kelly says life would be so much easier if people could just say they like someone. So people do that, Kelly. People do say that. I mean, there are people who will say, "Hey, I like you," and then other person say, "Oh, I like you," and that's really cool. It happens like that. I'm from Ghana, West Africa. Apparently, I flirt all the time and never know it. Right, and sometimes, you could be nice and somebody could take it for flirting. And if that happens, there's nice ways to go about it without making somebody feel bad, because you don't want somebody to feel bad if they took things out of, context. You were just being nice, and then they thought you were flirting, and then then they try and make a move. You're like, oh no, I'm sorry, I got somebody. I was just saying, there's ways to be nice to people without, hurting them. Laura Delnaps, Laura Week. Laura says 4 girlfriends, 4 weeks in a month, but 4 times a year. There's a 5th weekend, so maybe you have one more part-time opening. Laura, I'm not gonna lie, that was a cold ass bar. I don't know if you use ChatGPT to come up with that, but that's hilarious. I find that funny. That gets the love of the show. That's hilarious. You sure that wasn't AI generated? Nowadays, AI is everywhere. I'm like, that's a cold ass bar. 4 girlfriends, 4 weeks a month, but 4 times a year. There's a 5th weekend, so maybe you have one more part-time opening. That was that genius. That's a nice bar. That's a nice bar right there. I think we could all appreciate that. That's a nice bar. Nice bar. Sometimes when women are really nice, it comes across as flirty. Yeah, Chris, and I think a lot of neurodivergent women struggle with that, where it's their default to just be a nice person. And because, the older people we get jaded, we get a bit paranoid. So the older you become, a nice person becomes such a weird thing. Somebody just saying, hey, how was your day? And actually wanting to know about your day can shock you, because you learned that people can be disingenuous, people are fake. So somebody just being nice, while it is refreshing, it can be like, oh, wow, like, you're nice. Isn't that weird? Just somebody being nice nowadays is such a weird thing. Sucks. Oh, okay, all right, Hummingbird. 13 weeks per quarter. No, that was a bar. That was a bar. I like that. Blame on dementia. Working in psych is the best job. I'm so grateful that I get to be in psych. It's the best job. This is true, but I make it known that I'm just being nice and nothing more. Dr. Mar. Yeah, and it's helpful to be that direct. But when we're talking about social cues, I think you're supposed to understand that people are just being nice. Like when you have to say, "Oh, I'm just being nice," it's like, oh, I have to explain it to the person. It's kind of like explaining a joke. Like whenever I'm on stage and a joke bombs, the best thing that I've learned to do is just acknowledge that I fumbled a joke, I said it the wrong way, and then people laugh. But then when I try to explain the joke, it's like, keep it, you bombed. So it's like when you have to explain something, it's like, people are like, I have to explain the joke, I have to explain that I'm just being nice. But some people can really struggle to understand the social cues. I have ADHD and wondering how to deal with masking. And guys, we are in the Q&A section. Let me just say that. We're in the Q&A section. I have ADHD, wondering how to deal with masking all performing social interactions. So, Ugly Jest, you start small. You go to the grocery store and you have a genuine conversation with, somebody there. Maybe the person who's putting the groceries in the bags, or maybe your cashier. Just a simple, genuine conversation. Oh, how was your day? It's been a long one. I got off work. I'm headed to the next job, but it's been a long day, but I'm hopeful that it'll get better. That's a very honest thing to say. And then the person say, oh, okay, well, I get off in 2 hours. It's been a long day too. I hope that the day becomes better. So you practice small. It's hard to go to like a function and then be yourself. You practice small, one-on-one conversations. And a good way to break the ice is by complimenting people. Hey, I like your shoes. I like your watch. People aren't normally upset if you compliment them. So that's always my go-to. Molly says, I got in trouble at work for being nice and was furious when they gave examples of what I supposedly did. I was not nice to the guy that accused me of flirting. Now, not to be too heteronormative, but normally a lot of guys, I don't want to say that, but you see it the other way around more. But yes, some guys can still be uncomfortable and complain that somebody is flirting. Molly, I'm very interested in, I'm kind of invested in that story. I know you are a ICU nurse, so a male coworker was accusing you of flirting and you're just being nice. It can happen. It can happen. And as guys, I do want to say that as guys, you have the right to, voice your concerns if you feel uncomfortable. Just because we're guys doesn't mean that we have to take anything. I don't think that's what happened in this situation with Molly. But as guys, we do have bodily autonomy, and we can also speak up for ourselves. Compliments are, most people, if you tell them that you like their shoes, oh, I like your Air Forces, I got a pair. that will kick off a good conversation about the other issues that they have. Hey Stan, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Appreciate the old people that flirt. Right. Anytime you can go to work at the psych hospital and come back the same way is a blessing. Ophthalmology, that's funny. I'm making on this being. Okay, I already read that one. How do we learn not to be over analytic of people, their actions, and their body language? Dr. Mara. The best way is to take everything at face value. Like, whatever you understand or interpret a thing to be, I'd rather you be wrong in that assessment of the situation and just leave it there than to overanalyze it. Because a lot of us have people-pleasing tendencies that we're trying to break away from. So if you're in a social situation and you're trying to interpret things like, are they angry at me? The way they looked at me, like they gave me a weird look. Did I say the wrong thing? Do they even like me being here? Are they even my friends? I should probably leave. They want me to leave. It's best to, whatever you believe that thing. I mean, don't believe a negative thing, but however you interpret the situation to be, give yourself some room to be wrong, all right? But once again, you have to compartmentalize. Depending on what you interpret the situation to be, don't go to the worst possible thing. And I think that they should teach, especially autistic kids, this, just the basics, reading people's body language. Like, what does somebody who's uncomfortable look like? What does somebody who is stressed look like? What does a person who's happy look like? Without you doing too much overthinking. Just having an assessment of a situation. And as you do this more, you become better at, appraising social situations. For example, when you go to somebody's house, and I don't know if this is a black people thing, but when I'm over at somebody's house and they get up and they're like, hey man, so what you about to get into? That's their way of saying, hey, I'm tired. I need you to leave. So anytime I'm at somebody's house, they're like, what you about to get into? I'm like, nothing much. I'm about to go get some rest. I'm about to head on back to the crib. And they're like, all right, cool. But if you don't know that, that's their way of trying to say, hey, like, can you leave? Then it's like, they're sitting there and you're like, and they're like, hey, I'm tired. I need you to leave, But a lot of times neurodivergence would just be straight to the point and say, hey, I gotta get some rest. I gotta work tomorrow. So, like, we'll hang out another day, but I gotta go to work tomorrow. Whoa. Molly, you have to sign an NDA? And you were, whoa. Wow. I've never seen that happen at a hospital. That's unfortunate. I've never seen that happen at a hospital. Wow. Let me read a couple of comments from the talk. I'm 43 and only in the past few years have become hypersensitive to being touched. Coworkers tapping my arm would send me off the wall. Yeah. It's good to bring that up. Let people know. Because if you don't like being touched and they're just like tapping you, no, let them know ASAP. Because that's very annoying. Uggy says, have you dealt with imposter syndrome, especially as a black physician? So I have a DNP degree, so nurse practitioner, specialty in psychiatry and mental health. So not a physician, but a doctor. Doctor still. And imposter syndrome, I don't have imposter syndrome. I don't. Not clinically, not content creation wise. I have had it before. When I first started, I'd say when I first started working in Southern Virginia, doing forensic psychiatry, I had imposter syndrome because I just got out of school and it's my first big boy job. I'm in Virginia, I'm away from family, I'm away from everybody, and I'm doing a difficult job. I have 26 patients and we're on a forensic psych unit. And I had some complex cases, some complex medications. I didn't know how to prescribe medications that well at that time. I wasn't sure if I could give somebody Depakote with lithium at the same. Like I didn't know some of the basics, but as my skill got better, I was able to get rid of the imposter syndrome. A lot of times, imposter syndrome is just another way of you expressing that you're insecure about a certain thing. So now I have no imposter syndrome. I believe that I belong in any room that I step in. When it comes to psychiatry, I'm really good at my job. When it comes to content creation, I'm really good at my job. I'm the best in the world at what I do. So there is no imposter syndrome. So sometimes it's a little bit of insecurity which comes with being new. But just keep working on your skill and tell yourself that you belong there. Regardless of race or anything like that. I don't even see myself as black this or black that. I'm just somebody who's, doing my best to do my job. If I'm making a piece of content, I want to do my best to convey my message. If I'm, taking care of somebody, I want to do my best to give them a higher quality of life, whether it's changing up their medications or whatever the task at hand is. But just working at my skill and getting better, that's how I dealt with imposter syndrome. Great question, by the way. Take it at face value. Right. Don't do the whole mental game is very difficult and draining. You have advice for students who want to go to grad school? Yeah, talk to somebody who is doing what you want to do before you go to school, especially before taking out loans and all that extra stuff. Talk to somebody who will give you like the nitty gritty. Like ask them, hey, like, how do you like your job? Do you feel like you have flexibility at your job? How do you like your salary? How do you like your pay? How did you like school? What's your work-life balance like? Talk to somebody. For example, if you want to be a content creator and you also want to do psychiatry like me and you ask me certain questions, I'm going to tell you that my work-life balance is not normal. Sometimes there's a lot of work and there really is no balance. So talk to somebody who's doing what you want to do and ask them the honest and hard questions. And Patrick says on Facebook, oh man, I have to learn about that whole what you're about to get into and ending a convo or hangout. At first, I will tell them fully what I want to do, plan to do, and going to do. Definitely got better at reading social situations. Yeah, Patrick, I'm telling you, if you don't know, you're going to feel weird in the beginning. But after maybe like one or two times, okay, anytime somebody goes like this, they put their hand on their head. All right, man, I'm about to, shoot. What you about to get into? They want you to leave their house. Let me see. I feel like people with autism get bullied more than neurotypical individuals, and this is a bullying thing. Molly, I have never seen a situation where a woman that's a nurse was accused of flirting with a guy and had to sign an NDA. I think that's kind of over the top. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. I hate that happened to you. That's really unfortunate. Insecurity, lack of confidence and direction. Yeah, a lot of times it's insecurity, and when you start something that's brand new, you will be a bit insecure about it because you've never done it before. So you have to give yourself permission to fail. Embrace the imposter syndrome. It means that you care. It means that you care. Like you really want to be good at this thing. So embrace it. Take it all in stride. We were all a beginner at something at some point. And even if you are experienced at a certain thing, you can still learn and be a lifelong learner. I'm still learning about content creation every single day. I'm still learning about psychiatry. I'm still learning about comedy. I've been doing comedy for 4 years. That means that I'm a baby. Like I'm not even good yet. I'm confident, but I don't think I'm good yet. Like I can get so much better. So just dedicate yourself to learning every single day. Any advice? I have ADHD and want to go back to school to get my NP, but I can't handle stimulants. Well, Becca, I would look into non-stimulant options. Like there are non-stimulant options, whether it's Wellbutrin or clonidine. There's some different options that you can try. TikTok doesn't like it when I talk about meds, as if I prescribe them. On here I don't, but I know they don't like that. But there are non-stimulant options out there. How often am I on lives? Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 o'clock California time. Today's a Wednesday. I missed yesterday. So it'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays, at least like this. And then I may sprinkle in some live streams moving forward. For imposter syndrome, I listen to daily affirmations on YouTube. I advise that for everyone. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But I will say, affirmations don't do much when you have a belief that you are inadequate. If you're chanting affirmations, but deep down you believe that you're not sufficient, affirmations don't go far. You're reciting something saying, I'm worthy, I'm good, I'm blessed. But if deep down you believe that you're a bad person and that you don't deserve good things, you can't affirmation your way out of a bad belief. Will you ever change your content to teach nurses about social media? Probably not my main page. If there's a high demand, I'm sure that there is, but if there's a high demand about, yeah, I'm sure there is. Making content for healthcare providers, that would be a separate page. It would be a separate page, and our team would have to expand and hire maybe a few more people to where my main team is not overwhelmed. But that's definitely a lane, and you know, there's so many things that I can do between the big offer. You know, like I have like a big offer that's very expensive to learn about all of my social media secrets, but there are definitely some free things that I can do that can get you on your way. And if you start doing it and you start making content, you're gonna get better at it. Just telling your story, and really, I mean, I can give you $1 million worth of game in the sense that if you remove shame as you create content, that would be all that you need, really and truly. Because you make a piece of content and you look at it and you're like, I don't look right, the lighting is off. I still do that to this day. I'll make a piece of content, I don't like it. But I force myself to post because I'm like, Coda, don't do this whole thing where you get perfect with the content. Just post it. Stop. I talk to myself like that. And we post the content regardless. But if you can tell your story, you'll connect with so many more people and you'll gain momentum. Before you know it, I mean, I would say minimums. If you dedicate yourself to making at least one video a day, which is 365 videos in a year, this time next year, you'd have at least 100,000 followers on TikTok or somewhere else. And you would probably be making money off the content. Because if you're doing it every day, you have no choice but to get better. You're going to get better. And you're going to do great. You're going to do great. Demand avoidance, that's not wanting to do certain things when you feel like there's a demand that you have to do that thing, which a lot of neurodivergents have. Advice for ADHD parenting neurodivergent children below 10 years of age. Figure out what things they can do on their own and allow them to fail in those things. Obviously, make sure that you have guardrails on things that are unsafe, but give them a chance to fail. It'll boost their confidence. Sometimes we use beta blockers for ADHD, low dose. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know if I have a go-to for non-stimulant. It just changes depending on the patient. And yeah, Zilla, I would love to. I mean, like removing shame. That's a big thing. Yeah, but a page dedicated to healthcare providers on how to make content. I think that'd be a cool idea. I got so many ideas, and the page would have tons of free nuggets. I think that would be amazing. I think it'd be amazing, and a lot of healthcare providers can use the content that they make to open up their own practice, things like that. There's so much that you can do with it. Just get the attention and see if you want to promote like a cause that's important to you. And I don't believe that we have that many more years of easy content creation. At some point, it'll be much harder to get attention. When I first started on TikTok, they were giving out followers like that, and now it's harder to get followers on TikTok. You can still get. I mean, I still get it, but it's nowhere as much as it was back in the day. Facebook is my fastest growing platform. Facebook is where I really get a whole bunch of followers that quickly. And let me let me see some of the Facebook questions. Kylie says, any tips on tunnel vision when in huge social groups? What do you mean by that, Kylie? Like tuning out the noise? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. And Patrick says, talking about insecurity and imposter syndrome, any tips on figuring out who you really are while breaking down masks that you built up over time? Like understanding yourself. So, Patrick, what I'd say is you have to give yourself an environment where you can learn who you are. So, first, start in a safe environment where you start with the people that you know and start showing them who you actually are. And as you find out who you actually are, remove the judgment and the shame that you put on yourself. And that gives you permission to be more of yourself. And if you are in an environment where you have no choice but to learn yourself, you will learn yourself. So it's going to be difficult, but you got to be nice to yourself. You have to talk to yourself as if you're talking to the 7-year-old version of yourself. Like sometimes before I go on stage to do comedy, I'll talk to myself and say, you're safe, Kojo, you're safe. You're doing a great job, you're safe. You're doing a great job, you're safe. You're doing a great job, you're safe. I will literally say that to myself just to put me in a Zen mode where I can be myself. It doesn't always work, but it gets me closer. I think I said clonidine, Misty. Oh, the butterflies are awful. I mean, I still get them. I still get them. Zilla, yeah, I work with a therapist. That's how you know we have ADHD. Pretty Smiles, you're at a Billie Eilish concert right now and you're on the live stream? What? I feel honored because Billie Eilish is a legend, so I feel honored. Zilla, I'll talk to my assistant about that because I have a meeting with him coming up shortly. I'll be on this live stream for like 9 more minutes. I'll talk to him about that if he can break things up into a payment plan. I don't know how all that works, but I'll talk to the team. Not a bad idea. I'll write that down. But I feel honored that you would watch my live stream while you're at a Billie Eilish concert. I've never had somebody at a concert be on my live stream. That's wow. Yeah. Psych NP, but yes, I do work with therapists. You have to have the whole team. You know, you have somebody, you know that you're doing well, or you know that you're blessed in 2025 when you have, you know, a therapist, social worker, or a psychologist. You have a prescriber, psych NP, psychiatrist, psych PA, and you have a primary care team. If you have all of those 3, oh yeah, you're cooking. You're really cooking if you can get all 3 of those. You're really cooking. Wow, you're at a Billie Eilish concert and you're watching me. That's crazy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm a Billie Eilish fan. Patrick says, interesting. Shaming and limiting oneself is worth thinking about. Definitely agree with what you said. You need to work on that inner voice. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm safe. I'm good. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm safe. A lot of it revolves around safety because we don't give ourselves an environment where we can make mistakes. As you become an adult, there's so much emphasis that we put on ourselves around perfection. It has to be perfect. We have to have the right conditions to do certain things. But if that's how you think, you'll never get started. And if you think about it, the conditions are never right. They're never perfect. So we have to figure out a way to move forward even in less than desirable conditions. And you'll find out that you can move forward. And then that makes you feel better about yourself. You did a video with a sound. Can you tell me what it was? I've done like 10,000 videos. Which one do you mean? Chris, I appreciate that. What should one do if someone doesn't agree with autism level on a diagnosis? Aaliyah, bring it up to the person who diagnosed you and tell them why you don't agree with it. At the very least, you'll get a rationale from that person as to why they think that you're a level 2 and you think you're a level 1 or whatever the concern is. A lot of providers have big egos. I mean, I'm no different. But if somebody tells me that they don't agree with the diagnosis, then I listen to them because they could be right. Like, who knows that person more than themselves? So I know it can be scary, but letting them know that you don't agree with the diagnosis will, at worst, it'll help you be more confident. It'll be liberating too. It's not kept bouncing from one ear to the other. Oh, Letitia, I did a couple of those videos. I can't remember, Letitia. I did quite a few of those videos. Be careful what your thoughts are, because your thoughts control your life. Chris, that's true. And that's what, and it comes down to belief. A lot of us try to control our thoughts, and we're like, think positive thoughts, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts, think happy thoughts. If you had happy beliefs, or if your beliefs were, deep rooted in you feeling safe, feeling confident, feeling secure, feeling good about yourself, then you wouldn't have to struggle to have positive thoughts, because positive thoughts would be an automatic result of having positive beliefs. So it really boils down to identity and belief, and knowing who you are, or believing that you are somebody who is worthy of the things that you're chasing. Patrick says, my inner voice is autistic, so as I am understanding each other as a whole trip. ADD in the... Yeah, Patrick, if you take things literally, it can be tough to understand how things are in their typical world. So give yourself some grace. And especially as guys too, Patrick, as guys, I don't think we give ourselves grace like we should. If we were nice to ourselves, I think our quality of life would be much better. Just be nice to ourselves. Letitia, I don't remember that video. I don't. Hey, I appreciate that. Bless you as well. Chris, I'm telling you, we have to be nicer to ourselves. And the older generation of guys didn't talk about this as much. My dad, he was a great father. I don't think we spoke a lot about, and he still is a great father, but I don't think we spoke a lot about being nice to ourselves. We just work ourselves to death, and hey, we'll just get over it. Just get over it. We're gonna find a way. It is what it is. That sort of thing. But there are times where you have to tell yourself, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm doing a good job. Sometimes make it funny. I'll talk to myself, I'll say, I'm Gucci, we're good, we're chilling, we're good. But you want to say that to yourself, and over, after a while you start to believe that, oh, I am good. Yeah, I'm good. Once you have the belief, it becomes easier from there. Alright, Sandy. So I'll be back. I gotta get to one of my dogs. Letitia, find that video if you can. Please find that video if you can. I got a lot of videos. Lindsay, what's going on? The topic tonight, it was 5 signs that you may have ADHD and autism. And we talked about a lot. We talked about interacting with other people, social cues. We talked about whether to know if somebody's flirting or not. We talked about imposter syndrome, how to feel safe, beliefs. We talked about a lot. Chris, I'm telling you, we gotta be nice to ourselves. Man, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts, man. I appreciate you. Patrick, anytime. And Patrick and Chris, as I'm saying this, I'm also talking to myself. These are reminders to myself that I'm good and I'm safe and everything's going to be okay. I say that. I think it's key. Every morning you wake up, I'm good, I'm safe. I'm good, I'm safe. You're good, you're safe. You're doing a good job. You're good. You're chilling. You're safe. You're safe. You're good. Everything around you is good. We're content. We're blessed. We're good. We're good. Over and over and over and over and over again. I appreciate you, Chris. I'm autistic and find it hard to talk on here because I have to summarize, and that's difficult. Pixie, that's another thing that definitely makes life a bit harder for autistic individuals. Because, look, being autistic means that you struggle to communicate with others because you communicate and experience the world in a different way. So sometimes, and this is not just for autism, but for ADHD as well, we can be very loquacious, which means that we say a lot of things all at once. And in life, the better you are at communicating, the more things you get. So if you're very loquacious and you're very wordy and it takes you forever to get to a certain point, you could lose people's attention. You may even lose your own attention. So it is hard having to summarize. And I think it's a skill to learn how to be more concise with your words. And brevity is something that we all appreciate. So the fewer words it takes for you to get a point across, the more likely it is that you'll get the things that you want in life. So that can be difficult, especially if you're on the spectrum. But just understand that the better you get at communication, even if it's small, steps, it'll go a long way. So once again, just don't judge yourself. Over time, you'll get better. But don't be your own worst enemy, because you already have people in the world who are doing that for you. That job has already been taken. Just got my 16-year-old out of her ADHD diagnosis. Hey, Amanda, congrats to her. Hello from Sweden. Okay. We got some more people in the chat from Europe. I appreciate you. And how are you? It is hard for us to write all the time. I got a meeting. Intrusive thoughts. Let me say it real quick. And I think we should have a live stream on intrusive thoughts soon, because it's something that a lot of us deal with. Once again, understanding that you are not your thoughts. If you can disconnect your identity from your thoughts, you will feel a lot better about yourself. Because sometimes some crazy thoughts come into our heads, and you'll think to yourself, oh, ain't no way I had this thought. This is not me. And you're right, you're not your thoughts. So when you learn to accept the fact that we all have some wild, intrusive thoughts, if you could scan people's thoughts, you'd be like, oh, heck no, this is too much, right? So don't judge yourself for having the thoughts that you have, and understand that you are not your thoughts. Because if you attach your identity to your thoughts, you're going to be a very sad person. I don't know a single person whose identity is attached to their thoughts, who is happy, and who feels proud of themselves. So, yeah. We're still taking new patients. DM us your email, and depending on what state you are. But we have mental health coaching for all, and at the very least, I hope to see y'all at the comedy show one day. All right, y'all, I gotta head out. I gotta get to this meeting, but I love y'all very much. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for your attention. Whether you've been rocking with me since day one 5 years ago, or whether you're new here, attention is the most important currency in today's oversaturated world and overstimulating world. So the fact that you've been rocking with me on this live stream this whole time, it means a lot to me. Once again, if you're on Facebook, thank you so much. Specifically, we hit 1 billion views in the year of 2025 in October, and that means a lot to me. So regardless of what platform you're on, I want to say I appreciate you. But specifically for those of y'all on Facebook, y'all have been rocking with me all year. I see y'all sharing the content. I see y'all commenting. I see y'all. So I just want y'all to know that I see y'all, and I really appreciate it. And for everybody, I'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 o'clock California time, which is 9 o'clock in New York City, which is 8 o'clock in Nashville, which is 7 o'clock in Phoenix, which is 6 o'clock in Los Angeles, which is 5 o'clock in Juneau, Alaska, and that's 3 o'clock in Honolulu, Hawaii. And I think that this is 1 a.m. in UK. But for my UK boys and girls, thank you for watching me during the manic hours. I really appreciate y'all. All right. Until next